Some of you guys are just really mean. Like, I didn't make that clip, but when I saw it, I was dying laughing. Even Mets fans thought it was funny. What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap playoff edition. We have a lot to talk about, so we're not going to waste any time. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Well, actually, before we do that, this day in history, 66 years ago on the date, Don Larson tossed a perfect game in the World Series. One of the greatest accomplishments in the history of not only baseball, but in my opinion, in sports history. Game number one, this was 100% not baseball weather, 54 degrees and sprinkling rain. Anyways, Biebs and McClanahan, they were both showing off Cy Young stuff because McClanahan, he was good enough to get Cy Young votes this year. He's not going to win, but they were both nasty through 5 innings until the 6th happened when Jose Siri made me really nervous when he hit a laser beam home run to give Tampa Bay a 1-0 lead. Bieber, he finished that inning strong and he just needs a little bit of help from the offense, and Ram, he answered the call. It's not that I've lost my voice, but I definitely screamed and yelped when that home run was hit. A 2-run missile to the right side, which is actually the second home run that he's ever hit the opposite way as a right-handed hitter. So that was a very rare occurrence, and of course he saves it for the postseason. Bieber, he then went out there and continued to shut down Tampa Bay, and Emmanuel Clase did Emmanuel Clase things. McKenzie versus Glasnow is going to be happening later today, probably as we speak. Remember, this is a best of 3 series, so you have to win 2. If Cleveland wins today, it's over. Seattle basically had the exact same pitching performance as Cleveland. Luis Castillo and Andres Munoz. That's about as unfair as you can get. Like, maybe if you have a random relief pitcher in between those two guys, you might have a chance of getting to that random guy. But Luis Castillo to Munoz, it's not fair. Eugenio Suarez put Seattle up by 1, and Big Dumper delivered again. Just a few days after Cal Raleigh put Seattle in the playoffs, he's now hitting bombs in the playoffs. Luis Castillo was throwing frisbees, which usually you save that phrase for off-speed pitches. He throws a 99 sinker with devastating horizontal movement. It almost doesn't make sense. It's like a creative player. He's a creative player. So Castillo nearly throws 8 shutout innings, and Munoz comes in and it got even nastier. He was throwing 103 to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Vladdy, he looked at the 103 down the middle and he was kind of shaking his head like, I got this, looking like Cam Newton a few years ago. The only thing is, Vlad and the Toronto Blue Jays, they in fact did not have it. Now, not to take anything away from the Mariners, but I think even Blue Jays fans can attest to this. When Cal Raleigh hit that home run, everyone just kind of thought, we're going to lose this game. Like, the Blue Jays, as well as the fan base, they had a completely flat game. So today, a little bit better. Come on now. It's the playoffs. Here's a crazy stat for you guys before we actually recap the Philly versus St. Louis game. The Redbirds came into this game 93-0 in their playoff history. Never lost when they went into the 9th inning up by 2 runs. They have never blown a save. So after seeing rookie Juan Yepes hit a go-ahead 2-run shot, you're probably thinking, okay, they're going to be 94-0. There's no way that the Phillies make a comeback. There's a walk to Bryce Harper, and then there's another free base and an RBI to Alec Boehm, who took 101 to the shoulder and just acted like it was nothing. I mean, that was crazy. So an all-time choke job from Ryan Helsley. Probably not healthy, though. His finger, I think he jammed it a few days ago, so he's still not at 100%. But if he's out there, you gotta act like you're at 100%. He wasn't even acting like it. Palante cannot retire. Gene, the hit machine. Segura is playing in his first ever playoff game, and he picks up 2 RBIs. Sosa, he flies home on a bang-bang play against the team that gave up on him, essentially. Brandon Marsh, he was pretty much given up on by the Angels. He singled past Nolan Arenado, but I would have called that an error, but I guess it missed the glove, so you can't call it an error. Whatever, I don't know. I just can't believe that this actually happened. An all-around implosion from the Redbirds. Game 2 is happening later today. Aaron Nola versus Miles Michaelis. I mean, the advantage in Game 2, it's probably the Phillies. Now, before we talk about the Padres versus the Mets, we have to talk about some spicy comments from former Astros pitcher who just got a bag from the Padres, Joe Musgrove. I completely forgot that he was on the 2017 Astros, but he said, I still don't feel great about wearing that ring around or telling people that I was a World Series champion on that team. I want one that feels earned and one that was a true championship, so that's the goal. He is going for a true championship with the Padres. Essentially, he is calling his 2017 World Series ring fake and that they did not earn it. So those are some big words from a big person, because Joe Musgrove is huge. And this comes after he said that the World Series championship was tainted. I mean, again, Joe Musgrove is not proud of what happened in 2017, so hopefully he can redeem himself going into the playoffs. Regardless, the Padres had a strong performance yesterday, and that might be an understatement considering it came against a future Hall of Famer in Max Scherzer. Josh Bell hit an absolute nuke, putting San Diego up by 2. Trent Grisham, he pimped one to space. Like, Trent Grisham is one of the few guys, when he hits it, I know it's gone because he knows it's gone. There's the backbreaker. Jerks and Profar puts San Diego up by 6 as Machado makes it a 7 spot off of Mad Max. So Mets fans, they went from looking like this to looking like this. Baseball is a cruel sport, man. Yu Darvish didn't walk anyone. He tossed 7 shutout with a couple punch outs. That was an absolute punch to the gut for Mets fans if I've ever seen one. So game number 2, of course, is happening later today. We have Blake Snell versus Jacob deGrom, and it might sound crazy, but Blake Snell has been better than deGrom lately. Over his last 5 starts, Blake Snell has a 2.17 ERA and an almost 12 strikeouts per 9, whereas deGrom over his last 4 starts has a 6 ERA, but he's striking out nearly 17 hitters, so they're both absolutely disgusting. It's just when it comes to the playoff, the mistakes are amplified. So Jacob deGrom, whether it's to Dansby Swanson or Austin Riley, if he gives up that rare home run, it's not going to mean great news for the Mets. But also the same thing with Blake Snell and the Padres. Mistakes, yeah, they mean a whole lot more in October. Well, everyone, that does it for today's recap. I am currently recording this at 9:05 a.m., so the Guardians game starts in about 2 minutes, so I got to get watching that. So thank you guys for watching, and enjoy this day in MLB history. I'll just go ahead and put a caption on these clips so you guys understand what's happening. But 27 years ago, Edgar Martinez had one of the greatest moments in baseball history, and 4 years ago today, Brock Holt, he had a cycle in the playoffs.
Pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late for the American League Championship. I don't believe it.
Jump back into the fray here, down 3-0, and first 2 on for Holt, and a line drive, fair ball. In the World Series, that one's driven into right center field. Brock Holt. And on the chase, that is going to... That ball's ripped down the right field line. That is a fair ball home run.
Have a big October. Swinging a high fly ball. Deep right center field. Siri at the wall. And it's gone! How many times can he come through?
Punched out and past the diving Edman into right field. 1 run scores. 2 runs score
against the A's. Swinging a drive into right field. This one is going. It is going. It is gone. Goodbye, baseball.
Swing to the first pitch. It's a missile out towards the right field corner. Marte goes back, looks up. It's a home run. 3-run home run. Jurickson, Profar.